specifically for aspiring or beginner entrepreneurs who's just kind of dipping into it to see if this thing is for you. These are 7 basic questions to ask yourself, consider, and really think about before you actually take that leap. Hey, what's up, ambitious people? It's your girl, Anisha Yvonne, founder and owner of Beambi and Company, dance and creative studios, where we talk about everything dance, everything entrepreneurship, everything creative. So, I'm excited, y'all. This is my very first YouTube video that I'm doing, sharing some of my own experiences and just some thoughts with you guys when it comes to entrepreneurship. So, before we dip into those things, however, please click the subscribe button so that way when we do put out more videos, you guys will be the first to know. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So today we're asking ourselves some questions before we jump into this whole entrepreneurship journey type ordeal. These are important questions to ask yourself before you take the leap on anything when it comes to your entrepreneurship. You definitely don't want to do it because it's something that everybody else is doing. You see your friends and your family and people around you in your community are doing. It has to be something that you are doing purely for you. I cannot express that enough. Don't do it because it's a trend. Do it because it's something that you are really wanting to do. First thing first. All right, you guys, so we're gonna dip right into the questions. Question number 1, let's be clear. Is this a hobby or is this a business? There's a difference. I am a person who has an interest in so many things that you can think of. I'm a true creative / arts person / anything that you can come up with or think of in the creative world. I am that person. I took the time to learn different things. Starting off with dancing. Dancing is my first passion, my first love. And then it went into photography and videography. When I was younger, I was so infatuated with the camera and the things that I can do with the camera, the pictures that I could take, the videos I can create. And I still go back and look on those things. And I'm just in love with it. Another thing that I love to do is crafting. I remember working a 9-to-5 and I had a coworker who would sit next to me and she would crochet like these dope blankets for her son. And it was like a dope circle, like Spider-Man web blanket. I thought it was so cool. So we had a lot of downtime. It was a customer service job. We had a lot of downtime. So I asked her if she can show me. I was interested in learning. She did. And since then, I've been crocheting my little hands off, making blankets, socks, whatever that you can think of for people. That's something I also just kind of started doing as well. And then I took an interest in woodworking. I love working on wood, creating things from scratch when it comes to wood. So those are just some of the things that I decided to learn on my own. I gained so much interest in a lot of things to where it's just like I didn't know where to take this journey of entrepreneurship. I knew I wanted to have my own business. I was the one who was like, yes, I need to have a business. I can't work a 9-to-5. I'm not a 9-to-5 type person. I can't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. I wanted to have my own. I wanted to be the boss of me. I wanted to establish my own schedule, my own money, everything. So entrepreneurship was my route that I went, but there was a few things that I had to think about, and there were some things that I actually learned along the way of where I'm at now when it comes to entrepreneurship, and that's why I'm here to share those things with you guys. So the first thing that I did when I tried to figure out if my interest should be more towards a hobby or towards a business is I grabbed a journal. You gotta grab a journal. Write down every interest that you have. So I wrote down a whole list of things. I used one of those, I took it back old school, y'all, into grade school when we used those little charts, those circle charts that meets in the middle. I think it's called like a Venn diagram or something like that. So it's pretty much those 2 charts in the middle, 2 circles that meets in the middle that you can just kind of contrast and compare type thing. So on one side of the chart I had hobbies. I list everything that I was interested in. On the other side I left blank. In the middle where the circles meet I actually put profit, because anything that you're interested in that you're considering a business, you want to make sure that you can profit from it. So I went along this list, and of course dance was my main thing. So I was like, of course I can make a profit off dance. I'm known as one of the best hip hop dancers here in my community. So just like, of course, a lot of people would want to learn from me, etc. So I can see myself making a profit with that. I can see myself creating a business with that. So I put that in the business side and checked it for profit. And then I did this with every single thing that I listed. And then now that I had that list, I was able to go over to the business side. Everything that I could see myself making a profit from business, I then dove into asking myself question number 2. And question number 2 is simply, am I passionate enough to sustain a business with these interests that I have? Also, along with that, is passion enough to sustain a business? And a lot of people skip this step because they will go ahead and just go for it. They'll shoot for something like, I have an interest in this, I can go see myself creating a business for this. And once they start doing it, they realize that they lost interest real quick. They lost interest real quick. So just to kind of give you an example of mine, all those things that I listed as an interest, I actually started kind of making it a business, not a full-blown business, but I sold crafts. I sold my crochet projects, I sold my wood making projects, and I realized real fast that I can't see myself doing this for people continuously, like for them to make custom orders and me just going out having to shop for the supplies. It was too much for me, and I didn't like it. I enjoyed doing it, but I didn't like the business side of it. So that's why I kept it in the hobby side. I couldn't see myself creating a business of doing that, and I lost my enjoyment. But back to you, you have to understand, or you have to acknowledge and saying, am I passionate enough for this particular thing that I want to start a business with? Am I going to get bored quick with it? Can I continue to keep endurance up with it? Like, all that stuff, you really have to sit down and really think about it. Ask yourself before you full blown like turn this whole thing into a business. I'm talking about 5, 10, 20 years down the line. Can you really see yourself continuing to do this and become more creative with your business idea? And the second question that I had along with this one is, passion enough to start a business? Like, is it? Sounds good, don't it? If you could just have this good idea, business idea, and you like, I'm ready, I'm gonna go for it, I'm passionate about it, that's enough, let's do it. Let's think about this one. Let me share with y'all a little story about how I started my first business with just passion. So when I first started my very first dance business back in 2016, I opened the doors to my first dance studio. And I literally started that business with just passion. I had no structure, I had no policies, I had no terms and conditions. I was just presented a space, and I had, at least my community knew me for dance and what I can do with it, so they trusted me, and I had a following. However, I started my business with passion that lasted only 2 years. Why? Let me tell you why. Without a true business structure, you're just pretty much going out on a limb, and you don't know how this business is going to progress if you're just going through it day by day. You know, you're not ready, you're not prepared for the unseen. And that was me specifically. I had a dance business to where I just wanted my studio to be family based, and it did feel family based. However, when I say that, I'm allowing parents to come through the studio during class times to tell their kids what to do, etc., etc. I'm allowing this. And you know, at first it was cool, but eventually I seen like it just started failing. My studio started falling apart. I had no structure, I had no policy for them to go off of, so we was just doing whatever. It was all over the place, and I'm like, something's gotta give. This is not how it's supposed to be. But how was it supposed to be if I had no structure? So long story short, this lasted for a good year and a half, until like the last year of business, I decided I needed to buckle down and start putting a policy into effect. So I had to strip everything and just pretty much start from scratch. And I started small policies and procedures for my parents and students to follow through with, and you know, they wasn't happening. They were used to however we was doing it in The first way. So it's very important for you to lay that foundation and that structure in advance before you even open the doors to your specific place of business. And to add on to that, there may be somebody out there with a success story who just literally started a business from passion, but I'm sure somewhere along the lines they had to adjust, and they probably went through it the hard way. And it became a success for them. Kudos to you if that was you. However, I just feel like the foundation should be the very first thing that you lay before you even open the business. Question number 3. Drum roll, please. Do I have enough money to start a business? This one's the buzz killer. Like, this one is for real the buzz killer. Do I have enough money to start a business? So it's you doing like your whole brainstorming for your business idea, and you like, yes, I'm in there, this is gonna make a killing, it's gonna make some money, it's about to make my life change, until you think about how you're gonna have to get the money for what you need. I'm talking about your supplies, your expenses, your commercial space, whatever you may need for that particular business. The buzz kills when you think about how you gotta get that money. A few things I really wanna point out to you before you start your business. Even if you do have a savings account to where you can start making a few things stretch, boo-boo, do not quit your 9 to 5. Do not do that. I did that. That first business that I told y'all about, again, it was going so well for the first year and a half to where I was like, I'm done. Like, I was working at Blue Cross Blue Shield, good paying job, good benefits and everything, and I started making more at my studio than I was here, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I don't need this job. I needed it. But I didn't realize that until the very last minute, when everything just kind of crashed and burned on me, and I was stuck with all these bills and expenses, and had a small savings account that just was like, I had to make a decision with that. It was either try to push for this business, or I had a family at home. I had 3 children at the time that I had to support. So what did you think I went with? I encourage anybody who's considering to start a business that already has a job, a full-time job, part-time, whatever it is, to moonlight your way to success. And what is moonlighting? That's pretty much when you already have a job in place. However, you want to start your business journey. Do not quit your job. Try to find a way to where you can go ahead and work that 9 to 5, or you can work your current job that you're at, but still be able to focus on your business, okay? They say even if you do have a savings, make sure you can support yourself for the next 6 to 12 months before quitting a job. You know what I mean? Make sure you are secure before you make a decision like that. So you just want to make sure you're on your P's and Q's at all times. I will also suggest to make sure you are working on your personal credit at all times. Be responsible, y'all, especially if you're trying to start a business. Come on now, it takes responsibility to even do that. Be responsible. So that means know your credit scores, monitor your credit reports, know what's going on, and know what you need to do to get that thing inclining, okay? Keep your credit scores good, push it to great, push it to excellent. You don't want it to start decreasing. You got to think about it. When you are getting funding for a business, what are they going to look at? They're going to look at your credits. They're going to look at your financials, your reports, and everything like that. And they're going to see already from your personal credit reports and scores, and that's going to determine if they're going to trust to give money to you. Also, some cool things to think about is, besides your own personal credit score, there's a business credit score that you can kind of indulge in a little bit. Get yourself a DUNS number. So if you do decide to go ahead and start this business journey, you fully thought about this and you're all in, start working on your business credit as well. If you go to dunsandbradstreet.com.org, I'll put a link right here somewhere. But yes, if you go there and you have your business already fully registered, you have a business bank account, this is something, the next step that you can go ahead and do is start applying for business credit, getting your business credit established. That way when you do go to lenders later on down the road, you good. You good. And that leads me to my last remark on this particular question about do I have enough money, is you want to start thinking about that process when it comes to your lending. So you want to be financially responsible before even starting this business. Wherever you stand right now, if you are starting this thing with just $0, that's okay as well. Just really start structuring yourself, start putting up the savings, work at it, chip at it little by little. This thing might work slowly for you because you're funding your own business with just starting off at $0, but it's willpower, and it's going to take that to build anything. So even if you're starting with $0, increase that thing, work on your personal credit, work on your business credit, and just, yeah, you'll be good. You'll be good. Don't let that part discourage you. Question number 4. Am I disciplined enough? Listen, starting a business is not for the weak and it's not for the lazy. You have to be well disciplined to start this whole journey, this whole process. Trust me, it takes a lot of work, a lot of discipline, and a lot of willpower to start, to adjust, to keep going. Whatever the process is, it takes a lot of work. So you cannot be lazy in this thing. It takes work from the jump. Again, starting with that chart that I told you in question number 1, you have to know, first off, is this even, does this qualify for me to start a business with? Am I passionate enough? That's work within itself to even think about. But no, really going into the real work of it, once you do establish a business idea, you want to start working on like your business plans. Again, your financial projections. Are you going to register for a business? Getting your EIN number, starting your business bank account. What business entity? Am I going to need employees? Am I going to need a business partner? What does my financial processes look like? How am I going to discover my business analytics? How people even going to discover me as a business? What are my marketing techniques? Do I need any type of licensing or permits for what I'm trying to do? There's so many questions that you have to ask yourself, and it's so much work to do to research those things, to gain knowledge on those things, and to work towards those things altogether. And you have to have the discipline to really do the work. You know, you can't be lazy on your business plan. That's your baby. That's the whole fetus of this thing. Like, these are what your creditors, lenders, or investors are going to look at. They need your business plan. If you need a commercial space, you need a business plan. It has to be strong and it has to be thorough, clean, polished, all that good stuff. Now, even with that, when you first start a business, you have to keep in mind that you're going to have to wear all the hats in this business. You have to be the manager, you have to be the owner, you have to be every employee, you have to be your lawyer, you have to be your secretary, you have to be your accountant, you have to be every single thing. Starting off usually to go ahead and get your business established. So you have to be willing and disciplined to do that. And when I say discipline, I'm not talking about waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, getting your teas and your coffees and reading your scriptures and your affirmations and all this and that. And that's not what I'm talking about. Everybody's going to have their own process. Follow your own process and whatever works for you. Just stay consistent and disciplined along the way. And there's books out there even to read on, you know, how to manage yourself, your personal and your business life, or just in general. One of my favorite books that I like to suggest to you guys when it came to my discipline was The Slight Edge. That book was A1. Again, it's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It's such a good book, and it talks about, you know, a lot of people talk about the compound effect when it comes to saving money and generating income. The same thing applies when it comes to discipline. It's pretty much doing the same small habits daily, consistently, in order to get the compound effect. And that's what really sets you up for disciplining yourself and success and everything like that. So it tells a great story. It's a great narrative to have when you're trying to learn your own discipline or even try to stay disciplined. I would definitely suggest to read that book. Question number 5. Am I okay with failing? Am I able to pick myself up when I feel discouraged? Am I okay with rejection? Those things, you guys, are always a part of the journey of business, okay? Those things are always a part of the journey in life, period. So you have to ask yourself, how do I handle it now? Like, how do I handle when I'm discouraged at times? How do I pick myself up and put myself back in good spirits? How do I react when I'm rejected? Or how do I respond to failure? Like, those are things that you can kind of pick up on now to see how you kind of handle those things, and just really try to figure out ways that you can counter-react to those things. Those are ways that you can kind of turn the tables to see how I can do better in progressing in those things. It's gonna come. Failure is gonna happen. Rejection is definitely gonna happen. Discouragement is gonna happen at times, but you gotta know, you have to have the willpower and the strength to know that you can lift yourself up during those moments. That's where that question, are you passionate enough, is it going to come in, because you will know when discouragement start coming. And if you are defeated by it, you wasn't passionate enough, boo. You wasn't passionate. You're going to fail. You're definitely going to fail. I felt like I failed my first studio, you know, kind of going back into that story. However, I was still passionate enough to know, okay, this is still something that I want to do, and I am going to do it. I just need to make some adjustments. So from then, it took me 5 years. To this day, it took me 5 years to adjust, to learn the business side of things, to understand what happened and what I need to do in order to start inclining and picking myself back up when it came to business. So I did all that work, and it took me specifically 5 years. And that's along with, of course, you know, life that happened. I just waited until it was my time again. I was patient about it. I was short and serious about it. I just wanted to do it right this time. You know, one of my business mentors, I went into his office one day and I was so discouraged, and I can't remember exactly what it was about. But I just remember going in there and I told him, like, I felt like I just wanted to be done. He smiled at me and he was like, you know what? If you never walked in his office saying that, I would think something is seriously wrong. Like, you don't ever feel discouraged. It's okay, and it's part of the process. Like I said, you just need to know how to pick yourself up out of it and knowing that it's going to be better days. It's up to you to determine what that looks like or how that's going to feel for you. But it's definitely going to happen. It's like a garden is what he told me. And one thing he told me is, like, growing a business is like growing a garden. You know what I mean? Like, you're the base of everything. You're the soil, you're the seeds and everything that's on the ground. You need to be fertilized. And all of a sudden these raindrops come. And these raindrops have names on them, such as discouragement, such as rejection, such as anything negative that you feel when you start this business journey. It's going to come and it's going to soak on you. However, those very things are going to start your growing process. So those are things that you actually need. You need those things because they say fail your way to the top. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. All right, so the next question we have is, am I okay with not being supported? Of course we want support. But please do not go into business thinking that your family and friends are going to be your number one supporters. It's not going to happen, okay? Usually that's not how it happens. And I'm not saying that it don't happen at all. There's going to be, of course, family and friends who support you. But don't go into this thing expecting for them to support you the way that you think that they should support you. That's the key. Usually it's strangers. Usually it's just someone who is simply inspired by you, or someone who can utilize your services and products that you offer. But that's not all we should look for when it comes to support. I feel like networking is a huge thing when it comes to business. Find different networking organizations or events in your community that you can go to and just kind of listen to their stories, listen to their processes, their experiences. You never know who you can connect with. I think connections are a great thing to have. Connections are key to any business. It helps grow your business. Long story short, just don't expect your support to come from your own circle. Shall I say it again? Seek mentorship. Seek quality mentorship. That's going to help you along your way to where you don't feel like you have to be supported all the time by your own community right away. You have to be okay with not being supported the way that you think you're going to be supported. But still have that willpower to continue on, knowing that the support will come. All right, now we're on the very last question, and I'm so sad because I really love talking to you guys. But that question is, what's gonna make me stand out? What's gonna make me unique? What's gonna make my products and services something to wow about? You know what I mean? Like, you have to ask yourself these. You have to do your research, in your own community or your area of what's already out there that's very similar to what you'll be offering. And just research, do heavy research on it. It's very important that you do, because that's going to help you determine what makes you stand out from those, you know, other people or the other things that are out there that's similar to your business. And you have to snatch it, promote it, market it, that this is what makes me stand out. This is what's going to attract people to your business. You have to know your why. You have to know what makes you stand out, what makes you unique, what's going to help you blow up. Like, you have to just stay on top of it. Research. Okay, you guys, that is it. Those are just some basic questions you can ask yourself before fully starting your entrepreneurship journey. Take your time to really think about these things. Write it down, journal it out, do what you have to do before you make that decision. As optimistic as I am, I do believe that you have to consider your what ifs. You have to consider your what ifs. You have to make it a part of the plan, and you have to be clear about it, conscious about it. Yeah, so just take your time. If this video helped you out, go ahead and like it, leave a comment. If you had any other questions that you could suggest to people on this page to ask themselves before starting their business, go ahead and comment that as well. These are just my basic questions that I came up with and that I had to think about myself along the way. But yes, I would love to do more videos like this. Stay tuned for more dance videos. We'll have entertainment videos with Beambi and Company. You guys, again, don't forget to subscribe to stay in touch with the latest what Beambi and Company has to offer through our dance and creative studios. You guys, I can't wait. In the meantime, again, I'm just sharing these videos of the journey, the entrepreneur side. There's things to think about. There'll be more videos like this with entrepreneurships and discussions. So yes, I hope you guys' this new year was great. 2022 is here, you guys. I'm expecting great things to happen. Let's make great things happen, you guys. Love, peace, and happiness.